Hello and good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good whatever time zone and wherever you are. We've got some Link to the Past Randomizer 2022 tournament group stage action. We're bringing you this Group M matchup between Cheamo, who's playing his first match of the group stage, and Taelin, who's on his third match, having taken a win against Orange and took a loss against Telmaran previously. So very wide open group here. Both of these runners definitely looking, Cheamo looking to start strong, Taelin looking to get ahead. Calling this race tonight, I'm Reg, I'm joined by VXR, so got the mode up there on the screen. I think we're pretty familiar with it at this point, but let's talk through it a bit.
Yeah, so Tournament Hard Open, this was the mode used during the qualifiers. One of the big things is there are 48 heart pieces, so there's a lot of junk taken out. Your 4 swords placed, capped at tempered, 3 shields placed, capped at fighters, no armor upgrades, those replaced with blue rupees, no half magic replaced with the small magic decanter, and the bows are not progressive.
Yeah, so it's, aside from the health count, it is fairly similar to the hard item pools that you may be familiar with from the past tournaments. But those 48 heart pieces do mean that if you find them all, you can get all the way to 20.
Yeah, I forgot to mention we're capped at 1 bottle. All 4 are placed, but you can only get 1 and it will be empty.
Yep, if you want to fill it, you got to catch something, buy something, or talk to a fairy.
Immediate book.
Book's always an interesting find because it doesn't really do anything super early, but it does put 1 check in Desert immediately into Logic, even with nothing else. So it's kind of like you never really want to walk over there just for that 1 check. But I think a lot of people who have seen a lot of races or have played a lot of Seeds themselves have seen that singular 1 check be the Moon Pearl or something similar that you just have to walk over there for.
And both players decided to go with the Uncle opener.
I respect the Uncle Open. It gives you several chances at bombs. It gives you a couple checks that are pretty easy to put off if you don't start them. That Fire Rod right there could be missed by a lot of runners if this were a large race, for example.
Yeah, for sure.
But no divergence here. Both runners got it. And that key in the Sanctuary, you don't really like to see that much.
Man, Dark Cross already in Logic with that Fire Rod. Alright, that was a Pendant Hera and a regular Crystal at Eastern. I missed Desert.
Desert was also a regular Crystal. So 2 out of 3 in the Light World, not too bad. Pendant Hera is a bit tricky just because it's a very, I'm not going to say it's the quickest of checks, but if you're already on the mountain, it is quite quick, and we'll probably see both of these runners stop in there if opportunity permits, even though
Alright, they're both gonna check Lumberjack right away. Oh, piece of art.
Yep. Which, when you've got about almost a fourth of the item pool being pieces of hearts, seems like you could guess that with reasonable accuracy. Cheamo did go a bit out of his way to throw bushes at the pickle before going into the Lumberjack as well as after. Definitely trying to make sure he gets that tier 2 or tier 3 tree pull, depending on whether or not he takes a hit here.
Yeah, both are. Looks like they're both going for that. Bush Crab only gave out green rupees, though, and tier 1 was also green rupee. Well, there's some bombs.
Bombs are exactly what these guys are looking for. Feels a little bad to do all that farming and tree pull setups only to pull them here, but you still want more than 3 if you can get them, and you still want a lot of money as well. That glove is nice, though.
Yeah, like right now, they are nowhere near getting money for even Bottle Vendor. And just arrows on that tree pull.
Yep. So the tier 2 tree pull is going to remain a mystery here. Cheamo, actually, he's going to go up read the Master Sword pedestal before hitting the village here.
Oh yeah, we immediately started with the book.
Yeah, so we'll have real quick information here on whether that pendanted Hera is going to be required.
And it's just arrows.
Yeah, we're not going to see Cheamo pull that. Probably won't see Taelin pull it either. Almost no chance.
There's some money.
Yeah, that's going to solve our money issues for a while, unless we need to go pay Zora. And then we saw that cape as well. Doesn't really do anything. Those boots are nice, though. Always nice.
Although if we find a sword and then the lamp, that'll point us towards Aga.
Also, chat's pointing out, while trying to get away from the ped to get to the village, Cheamo took a hit from a thief and now has 0 bombs, which is rather unfortunate.
Oh, okay, there's some there.
Okay, he got bailed out, and with 300 packs in both the Well and Blind's hideout, I see no reason for either of these guys to be shy about buying them on their way out of the village.
So that's the one bottle we're going to be seeing.
Yep, and a great place to find it, because I can go turn in the fetch quest associated with it right away. I mean, really, boots, bottle, and Kakariko, the only thing we're really missing to make this super nice is a flute. Just activate that before you leave, too.
So question in chat, is this turning randomized modes or do runners choose? There's a bot that will pick a mode based on a player's recent, 5 most recent tournament races, so as to try to create some variability between the 5 modes.
Yeah, basically the way that you think about it is there are 5 modes. Think of it as a deck with 20 cards, where each mode is represented 4 times. And then you take out the last 5 races for each runner, and then you draw from what's left. And in this case, we wound up on the tournament hard.
Taelin started racing around the time of the main tournament last year. Didn't qualify, and they qualified for the Challenge Cup, but then qualified for SpeedGaming Live last fall and is now qualified for this main tournament.
Yeah, and that is really a strong sign of growth from Taelin in the past year, because qualifying for this tournament was not easy. Not at all. I think something like 250 runners almost did at least one qualifier. You had to be in the top 128 of those based on aggregate results. And the community has just collectively gotten really good.
A big jump from years past.
We do see Cheamo, unfortunately, blind checking the rates game for 20 rupees that he probably doesn't really need, but is going to pick up since it's there anyways. Taelin took the glove to the back of the sewers. We saw the map in there. We saw the key earlier in the sanctuary. And that means, like you said earlier, Dark Cross is in logic, and it's going to have an item for us.
I did want to point out, we did see a blue rupee in there. Now, normally there's 4 blue rupees in the item pool, but because we have so many heart pieces, those are taken out. But blue rupees in this mode are all overflows for either bottle, shield, or armor. So that could have been a second bottle, or it could have been armor that got replaced.
Unfortunately, in this case, A, we'll never know, and B, it doesn't really matter, I don't think, to these runners. They've got their one bottle. They know they're not getting armor. They are going to get this blue cane right here. I could see an argument for potentially skipping it since they already have the cape, except it is a weapon that will, if it really comes down to it in, say, 20 minutes or so, it's a weapon that will hurt blind.
Yeah, and will also hurt these mini mold arms, although they're all pretty short on magic.
Yeah. Mini mold arms in the bomb pack, it looks like?
Yep.
That's pretty convenient, but Taelin did not get the drops. Did you make good use of that cane, though, to save a bomb there?
Other than a shield, nothing else in Mini Moldworm Cave, like for more money.
Yeah, the good news is that Taelin's money stock is now in a position where he can afford to pay Zora and go to Palace of Darkness if he ever gets Dark World access, which he will at some point. Meanwhile, the Dark Cross item, we saw that on Cheamo's side a moment ago. Just some extra bombs, but he didn't go into the castle itself. He just did Dark Cross from the back.
Now he's heading over to the eastern area as we find 10 arrows in Ice Rod Cave. And yeah, Tail's going to set up a water walk and take that probably to the Zora area. He's got to survive the crabs.
Yeah, I think he's good at this point. Yeah. Well, Cheamo pulling another 300 pack out of the back of Sahastralov's hut.
So how long does it take for runners to find a sword? There are 4 of them, but sometimes you can get it right away. Sometimes it can take over an hour to find one.
Yeah, I think... I'm trying to remember the longest I've seen runners go without a sword in a non-swordless, and I think it was 70 or 80 minutes. But that is the very extreme end of things. Oh, Taelin got a refill, so he lost his water walk. Luckily, he only got it after getting both chests, so he doesn't have to skip a check there.
Yeah.
But does mean that his road to Zora is going to be a little bit longer since he can't just walk over the deep water.
Yes, he's hard on the ledge.
Chat reporting there was a seed with an 87-minute first sword earlier today.
Yeah, I did hear about that.
It can be a very, very long time before we see swords, but those are also exceptional outliers, and you typically find at least one within the first 20 to 30 minutes of the vast majority of seeds, in my experience at least.
Oh yeah, we can full clear desert at this point. We got book, we got boots, we got fire rod, glove.
Yeah, would probably want a magic refill to even attempt that Lane Molas fight, with the fire rod and the bombs being the only real weapons there. Burnout hurts it, but it's not the most effective.
I haven't really seen any magic dropping from enemies. Oh, Cheamo taking it out to the crab.
Yeah, it had 5 hearts max, but only had 2 when he took the hit, and that's how much the crabs do, unfortunately. Taelin, I thought he was going to run out, potentially give Eastern Palace a look, but nope, taking the save and quit instead.
Yeah, Cheamo might be heading over to... Yeah, he's going to be heading that way, and Taelin looks to be following right along.
Yeah, I mean, we've pretty much exhausted Sphere 1 besides the Castle Dungeon area and Agena Cave. So Agena plus Crystal Desert if you can complete it, which they have the gear to. Just the magic meter and the bombs for the boss fight are the concern here. They're going to have to play well.
Yeah, the weaponry isn't that great.
Yeah, our progression is either in Desert Palace or it's in the castle. And both of these runners starting Uncle, cheamo having done Dark Cross in addition to both having done the back. It's 3 items versus 3 in Desert as well if you count the ledge.
Yeah, Koya makes a good point in chat. You could go fake flipper to the potions and have them buy a green potion. Yeah, they got a ton of money right now. Got a lot of money to start out this.
Yeah, I would definitely do the same in this position just because it makes even just the Lamola's fight so much easier when you're not having to stress over hitting every single fire rod shot. But neither of these runners opted to, so they'll just be playing with what they've got. And yeah, Chad is pointing out there are magic in pots here. Cheamo is starting to pick them up. See, do they know and will they pick up all of them?
Desert is boots locked. Not that that really matters since we found the boots very early on.
Yep, boots in Kakariko, big key on the torch means small key in the big chest. And then I'd say go to the right, but that requires them to kill enemies too.
Yeah, and again, the weaponry not great. Although Berna does work pretty well on the popos.
Yeah. The other side to that, though, is potentially they could get both items on the right side, and then they can put off Landmolas if they're not wanting to do that fight on this equipment.
Yeah, that's a good point. Looks like Cheamo's gonna go with bombs. Don't think I got either of them.
Nope.
And there is an item on Landmos.
Yeah, we've seen the map and the compass both already.
I was gonna use fire rod shots.
Does get 2 bombs back for his trouble. And actually, despite using Fire Rod where Taelin used Berna, Cheamo's got more magic right now.
Yeah, looks like Taelin's not gonna bother with Landmos at this time.
Yeah, 1 item on Landmos with a very resource management heavy fight. Or just go to the castle for 3 items there.
And they're all items at this point.
Yep, we've already seen the key and the map in the escape sequence, so all 3 going to be items. Taelin, smartly remembering, he hasn't checked the... Oh, wait, he's going to magic pots in the Uncle Drop. Oh, I thought he was going to check the Tier 2 triple there. So I'm wondering though, with Cheamo on, like he needs to shoot his fire rod twice to. First, he needs to get through this room.
Okay, well, that was dropped 4 bombs.
Yeah, they are in the bomb pack. So he's got 5 bombs, and he will have 0 magic going into the fight unless there's a magic in this room. Like. He'll have 1 fire rod shot going into the fight and 6 bombs. I don't think that's enough.
I don't know. That's the only magic decanter that's in the back.
There is one under that top left pot that he hasn't picked up.
Okay, he's gonna death warp to, or yeah, just take a death to the...
Okay, I don't know if he realized late or if he's resetting the magic pots or what's he gonna do. Okay, he took the save and continue, but he is leaving. Looks like he's gonna go back into here to refill his magic in the dungeon itself. Meanwhile, Taelin up to the boomerang chest. I didn't see what was in the map chest, but...
It's a piece of heart.
Okay, makes sense.
Oh, here's the hammer.
And Hammer's still not a really easy weapon to use against the Landmolas, just on account of its range and awkward hitbox. But it means he doesn't have to worry about running out of magic during the fight because he has an alternative option now when he goes back to Landmolas. And Landmolas is the progression. Could be the lamp to get us up to that mountain. Oh yeah, Eastern is still open too, right. Neither runner actually dipped into that.
Looks like Cheamo's just going to give up on it.
Yeah, he sunk a lot of time into that and doesn't really have anything to show for it beyond a third of a magic bar. It is going to be Dark Cross here for Taelin. Cheamo's the only one that did that from the back earlier, so Taelin going to be pretty disappointed only to find 3 bombs here. And then we'll see if he chooses to go back for Landmolas with that hammer, or if he chooses the 2, maybe 3 items in Eastern.
Alright, let's see where Taelin heads now. I expect this to be Eastern. Nope, going south. Okay, I guess go back to Landmos now that you have hammers.
This could be the potion shop. Nope. If he was going to potion shop, he'd bonk there to set up the fake flipper. He's taking his hammer and he's going to go kill some worms with it.
Yes, we have seen Zora. It was just bombs.
Yeah. Chat's asking about the obsession with the Landmolas here. We have seen every check that's in logic for these runners besides Landmolas and the interior of Eastern Palace. And with all of this progression kind of pointing towards Landmolas in the form of the book, the gloves, the fire rod, it's looking like a pretty strong play, especially as a crystal. And here's Cheamo choosing the potion shop now, even with that hammer in hand. Can absolutely afford it, so may as well. Yep, and here Cheamo's just going to drink it, and then I guess grab a blue for the extra safety on top of the magic refill.
Yeah, he had a lot of money. We're set on money for the seed.
Yeah, 1,000 rupees, and he had already paid Zora to boot. Oh, nice little use of the fake flippers there. You don't see that one every day. It's pretty much the opposite of what he did to get here, so...
Cheamo is... Where is he going? Oh, I guess back to Ice Rod Cave.
Yeah, because he died to that crab on the way there earlier, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But successfully gets there this time, will be rewarded with his junk item fairly shortly. And we're seeing Taelin used up all his magic, so now he's on to the hammer for the Landmolas. And he's getting the hits in, it's just little awkward running around. You see him missing a couple, taking a couple hits, just on account of that hitbox being rather awkward to deal with. But I think one more hit and he'll be good.
I just gotta be careful. You're down to 1.5 hearts. Down to 1 heart. Okay, there we go. Oh, just a piece of heart.
We're going to Eastern Palace then. There's nothing else left that's in logic for these guys. But that is still first crystal for Taelin at the 23-minute mark.
Alright, so Eastern is where our progression is hiding. Will it be the Moon Pearl to get us into the Dark World? Will it be a lamp to send us up Death Mountain?
Just by sheer numbers, it's most likely to be the Moon Pearl. If it's something to send us up the mountain, then there's really not much we can do there. If it's the flute to send us up there, all we can get is the inside of Spectacle Rock. And the lamp just gets this old man on top of that. It could also be a semi-fetch quest item, like the mitts to open up King's Tomb for 1 check, or shovel mushroom powder. But
yeah.
Regardless, something's in here that opens up at least 1 new check for us.
Nope, nothing on land though, so it's just a piece of heart.
Yeah, which I'm still rather surprised that Landmola's was not progression. The crystal is still nice, but everything was kind of just indicating that check with the items we'd found.
I mean, one sword you could get to Aghanim with the cape, but that's not in logic without the lamp.
It's not logic without the lamp, and honestly, even with the fire rod, it's kind of just a pain. But that's the Moon Pearl for Taelin. That's Dark World access. Gonna finish out the checks in this dungeon, at least this one. Okay, and he is going to go for the big key chest. 50-50 between that and the boss having the last item. But this is the only one that we can actually get through without a bow. And meanwhile, we see cheamo going to rescue the old man out of logic. So, he will get the save and quit point out of this, which is always nice.
Cheamo's using bombs to try to figure out where he is. Because it can't poke the wall without... Because you don't have a sword to poke the wall.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't know where he is. Okay. Now I know exactly where he is. Actually, I should note... Okay, it's just a map that Taelin pulled, but without the lamp, that one's actually not in logic. Where Fire Rod plus Bow would put Landmola's in logic, so it was... basically Taelin hedging against something being in that chest and having to come back for it later when he could have already gotten it. Just a bit of an efficiency play there.
Right, and just 10 arrows there.
Yeah, I think I saw, what, a piece of heart on top of Spec Rock? So, nothing on the west side of the mountain.
And now cheamo's going to head over to Eastern. Alright, Pendant Pod, Green Pendant Turtle Rock, and I did not see what our red crystals were.
I think they were vanilla. I'm reasonably confident I saw one at Meyer, and I'm pretty sure I saw one at Ice, too. And yeah, chat's saying as well, Hookshot in Hype Cave, Titansmith's in Hype Cave.
Very hype.
We're playing V17 again, boys. Let's go. But yeah, this is, I mean, with Pendant Pod versus Pendant or Crystal Eastern, you need the bow either way. Same thing with Turtle Rock, Meyer, and the Cane. We do only need one medallion guaranteed. Well, I say guaranteed one medallion, but we don't necessarily need two medallions with Turtle Rock being pendant.
Right. Oh, here's a sword.
Just shy of the 30-minute mark, too. Not too bad.
Alright, this is gonna be probably a catfish play, I'd expect.
Yeah, take catfish here, and then you can double back and hookshot across the river, and continue on to the western or east, yeah, western Dark World that way. I had it right the first time, but words. Yeah. Another option here, though, could just save and quit, and then just go start at the village normally, especially since there really aren't any checks to do in the Northern Dark World without the mirror. I guess Bumper Ledge is available with that cape, but that's just as accessible from the village as it is from the graveyard.
Looks like Cheamo's also gonna head over to the big key chest. Oh yeah, we can go to King's Tomb as well, but Taelin's gonna instead start from Wink's house.
Okay, it looks like Taelin's going to go for Stumpy, Dig Game, and then take those mitts north into the village, and then circle around to things like Skull Woods and the Bumper Ledge, which is honestly, actually, in my opinion at least, a bit smoother, but it does make checks like the cave south of the grove that we're about to walk by and the Smith Chain a bit less appealing, just because you don't have those for later when you have the mirror.
There's 20 rupees from Stumpy.
Cheamo taking a death warp instead of a save and quit. I think he wants to go straight to pod.
Yeah, and of course he doesn't know it's a pendant.
Honestly, though, if he's feeling behind after the time sink into Magic and Desert, only to not actually kill the land molas, a pendant pod play could be a very aggressive kind of catch-up play for him. Or even just a bowless pod play in this case, since he doesn't know it's a pendant.
There's our second sword.
Yep. We will be seeing one more of those this seed. Cap at Tempered Sword. Yeah, there is the map check again, showing the vanilla 5/6 crystals, Ice and Meyer.
Oh, Cheamo might have been having second thoughts, but nope, gonna make the play.
Nice thing about these swords on Taelin's side, he can just hammer dash right through these pegs here and not have to hit each one individually. Unfortunately, no real reward at the end of that.
Right now we're gonna get a look at Village Outcast proper, and I assume Taelin will head into Thieves Town and do that.
Yep, Thieves Town is a full clearable crystal with that hammer in hand, so there's really no reason at all to avoid it. And then I expect we'll see a full clear of Skull Woods afterwards for basically the same reason. just and never have to come back to this region of the world again until you're going to activate your flute in the light world.
There's a bug net.
I mean, it's not literally nothing. That's nice.
I think cheamo does know how to hover. We'll see if he decides to do it.
This particular hover is exceptionally difficult even among people that do, so even if he can do it in the general case, I wouldn't be surprised to see him skip it there.
I don't think we wanted to see an ice rod show up.
When Turtle Rock's a pendant, not really, but still, especially with something like that, better to have and not need than the other way around.
Yeah, if Trinex does come into play, which it's unlikely. But
it looks like cheamo's just going to burn that blue potion he bought earlier to unlock the camera and get the mimics off screen that way.
They're going to trick the game into thinking, oh, the mimics are all off screen, you must have killed them, so the door opens.
Yep, and mimic noses just, they don't exist. You can see them, but they're not actually there.
Those 2 keys on the right side, so the back of pod is bow locked.
Yeah, because he only had one. I think that indicates, well, I guess the thing to check before saying 100% bow lock would be no small key in the vanilla big key chest that he's about to go check. Because if there is a small key there, he had one key before going to the right side, but he could have burned his key here to get an extra one, and that would still let him to the back.
Although we did see an item in the arena. Alright, there's a key.
And he's going to take the Death Warp here, get back to the front. That does give him a chance to refill his bombs, and it'll give him a health refill as well. And it's probably not really any slower than taking the teleport pads back.
Right, and cheamo's gonna now head to the back.
Yep, and we have not seen a big key yet, so just for smoothness of routing, you never want to see big key in the dark maze if you hammer jump. If you don't hammer jump, then it's just kind of who cares. And there's the flute. Unfortunately, no mirror to turn around and activate it immediately for Taelin. But that is one of the items we still needed.
Yeah.
Looks like cheamo is going to burn the key on Dark Maze, which this isn't key sanity, so there's really no cost to doing so. He already had all the keys anyways.
You gotta be careful in here. Heart and a half. Everything does 1 heart in here.
Yeah, use Burna to both protect and locate himself in here. Meanwhile, Taelin on to a blind fight here. I don't know if we've seen Pod's Compass, but that was the map in the top of Dark Maze.
I think there's 2 items left from what I've counted. Right, that was a nice heart drop.
That is blind down for Taelin. That's going to be the second crystal. Just shy of 38 minutes here.
What seed pools Vernus came from? cheamo was 2nd quadrant and Taelin was 4th quadrant. Alright, so Helmsor King, I believe, has an item.
Yeah, we saw the map of Pod inside the Dark Maze and the compass in the big chest, so has to be an item there on Helmosaur. I think the only thing we saw in Pod of any note at all was the mushroom that Cheamo's immediately going to go turn in. And Taelin's actually going to give us the bumper ledge up here before going to Skull Woods. It's just a piece of heart, so he's not going to grab it. Yeah, I've got to imagine here, Taelin, hookshot, hammer, flute in hand. Obviously going to do Skull Wood since it's the full clearable crystal right here.
And Mushroom was just a piece of heart, and Cheamo's going to save scum that.
Yep, which means if Cane of Samaria shows up anytime soon and we're not in go mode yet, he can get fake powder out of it to do that fetch quest. And Taelin unfortunately gets wall mastered, but not the worst place for it.
Yeah, we're still looking for bow, flippers, at least one medallion, Samaria, and mirror.
Right. And that's pretty much the smallest possible set of things. Just a small key in that Skullwood's middle chest there. Not the best, but it does make routing a little bit smoother. Cheamo through to Hype Cave, taking the immediate save and quit. Wonder if he's going straight to the village from there. Or maybe it might be the mountain for him. Yeah, it's going to be the mountain. He's going straight to East F Mountain.
Yeah, the hookshot, yep, gets us to East F Mountain, and that hammer also gives us access to Hera, which is a pendant.
It's a pendant, but it's two relatively quick checks, more so than pretty much any other dungeon in the game, even Skull Woods. So I would not be surprised at all to see Cheamo pop his head in. And of course, Paradox Cave here, 7 items. You can't even get that in a dungeon unless you count Ganon's Tower. It's the single densest location in the game for checks. And of course, Cheamo with no sword, kind of getting pushed around by the mini mole worms a bit here, unfortunately, but is able to get through and start opening these chests. And for all my talk about how dense it was,
absolutely nothing. Now time
feels
for
bad.
Mothula.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Mothula with a Master Sword is not a terrible fight. Just exercise a little bit of caution and patience. Use spin attacks where you can because those are double hits. Fire Rod also very good just as a ranged option. And I think Taelin's in pretty good shape here.
Very nice.
Yep.
And there's our mirror.
Okay, yeah, we're going to see Taelin go to the North Dark World stuff, Graveyard Ledge and King's Tomb. Presumably before the mountain now, just because otherwise those checks are pretty isolated.
You know, that mirror is really convenient for Taelin. Okay, not going to check Ped right now, at least. That doesn't look like it.
I mean, there's really not much that can be on Ped for Taelin anymore. Flippers could be, and his Maya Medallion could be, but Bo and Samaria are both off the table for it. So from his perspective, I mean, not checking it, yeah, you get burned if it is your Flippers or your Maya Medallion, but it's a really low percent.
Alright, so we found one item and the big key so far in Hera.
Cheamo's still taking that Harapot just to save time over climbing the normal way. Which, when you get it quickly like that, definitely a time save. Taelin found second item in Skull Woods, and he is out.
Well, that's both items.
Cheamo is continuing, even though he's the one that red ped and knows there's nothing there.
Okay, okay, I think you may have just realized.
Okay, yeah, I think he did realize. I wasn't directly looking, so I wasn't sure if that was intentional or a failed bumper skip, but he's going down. And yep, here's Taelin, Graveyard Ledge, King's Tomb, and then backtrack to the village to activate his flute, and then I would assume Mountain before Mire area, but both are good plays, and I expect them to be his next two plays regardless of the order.
Yeah. Yeah, Smith Chain's another thing they could do, but actually that's a pretty good, it's also another good option.
Yeah, he's already done the Hammer Pegs, but he has the option to loop in both the cave south of the Haunted Grove and the Bombos Tablet with it. So that is a relatively fast 4 items. Mountain and Mire probably still more appealing though.
Right now we're getting a look at East Dark Death Mountain from Cheamo's side. Can get Super Bunny and Hookshot Caves taken care of now.
Yep, get those two, pick up the Turtle Rock Medallion information just in case you need it later. Hopefully you don't, but Turtle Rock is a relatively item-dense location. And that is Vanilla Ether to open up Misery Mire. Which, hey.
Hey.
So, unfortunately, if Taelin had gone the mountain first, he would have been rewarded with the ability to open up Mire once he got here. But with no Samaria, do you really want to immediately dive in?
And here's Samaria.
Yeah, so Flippers and Bow, which are going to be go mode for Taelin once he's off the mountain. And remember, this is the tournament hard item pool, so it is non-progressive bows. There is one bow, and there is a separate silver arrows item. So this could be a little bit of fun.
Alright, so we did also have Ether for Turtle Rock, so we did have a case of Key Under the Doormat.
Yeah, Key Under the Doormat, but probably not a key that Cheamo really wants to use, even ignoring the fact that he couldn't without a mirror.
And it's just a piece of art in Spike Cave. Oh yeah, Cheamo's yet to find a sword. 47 minutes in.
Yep. We know the 2 swords Taelin has are on the pyramid and at the digging game, but Cheamo went Hype Cave straight to the mountain and is just now getting set up to make other plays. And actually, I think Kat's starting to say it, but if you're Taelin here, do you just go into Turtle Rock once you pull Ether and Soma out of Dark Death Mountain? Because, I mean, it's right there. You could go to Mire instead, but Turtle Rock, even, like, Green Pendant, Turtle Rock, plus Mimic Cage is 7 items if you're willing to commit the time to it.
Alright, now we're gonna get magic with the fake powder setup.
Oh, right. The Samaria find on the mountain does enable this for cheamo. Has to use up his magic meter, at least to the point where he can't use a Samaria block. And then use Samaria block, and then use the mushroom while that sound effect from the no magic is playing. And you get a powder effect. You can also do the fake powder by doing the exact same trick, but with the actual powder instead of the mushroom instead. Just to use it when you're actually out of magic. But yeah, both of those being nothing means that Pod was, unless Helmasaur King has exactly the flippers, Pod is just completely dead.
Alright, so Taelin's gonna pull on what seems like a TR care package out of Hookshot Cave over to this area, but it's also an MM care package.
Yep. But that's what makes Turtle Rock such an interesting question right now. It's more than 3 times as many items as Misery Mire, and you're right here. But it's a pendant.
Right. And
meanwhile, cheamo here is working through the Village of Outcasts checks that we saw on Taelin's side a little bit ago. So we've got the runners just kind of tracing each other right now.
oh yeah, TRs are green pendants, so technically 6 items instead of 5.
Yeah, 7 once you add in Mimic Cave though.
Yeah.
Okay, and it looks like, regardless, Taelin's going to do the rest of the mountain before potentially giving us a decision on Turtle Rock. Start with Spiral Cave, presumably Hera afterwards, and then we'll see from there.
I think cheamo more so did not want to see that ice riding near to Taelin because cheamo now knows he can full clear TR.
Yep. And his choice of Hype Cave straight to the mountain was a very nice, aggressive play because for all he knew, the mountain wasn't in logic. And
once
really,
he gets the sword.
Yeah, he does need the sword to get through the front door. And actually, with just Fighter Sword... Well, no, never mind. I forgot Hammer's thing. In other modes where you can reach Trinex without a hammer, you do need magic extensions in the form of bottles and half magic to logically kill Trinex with just a Fighter Sword.
Okay, so Taelin's gonna at least open Turtle Rock. We'll see if he decides to go in.
I've got to assume.
Oh no, he's already opened it. Oh, right, he's already opened it. Or no, he hasn't.
He opened the portal, but he didn't get the medallion until after jumping down.
Right, because there's a case of key under the doormat. So yeah, he's going in, I think.
Yeah, I see no reason to come back and open the front door if you don't intend to immediately go in.
A Taelin can full clear Mire. It's just when you don't have a bow, Vitreous can get a little difficult. I guess I can say.
He's got the cape and the Master Sword, so at least for the small eyes, he can go with just the stand there and spam sword, so that cape magic drains slowly thing, and that works very well.
Yeah, mountain climb is pretty long going to Turtle Rock.
And cheamo trying to show us fake powder again, this time to get a heal off of this anti-fairy. I think this time he's going to get it. No, he got hit first.
There we go.
There he goes. Full heal for cheamo.
There's Bombos, which doesn't do anything for us, really.
Nah, Bombos is kind of nice if you still have to go to Ice Palace, especially if you're not on Tempered Sword, just because you can use it to open Cold Stare's shell and still have Fire Rod left over afterwards.
Yeah.
But other than that, it has no logical implications here.
All right, I will be right back.
We do see cheamo with the flute does put the mountain in logic for him, which is kind of where I was going earlier when I said that his play at Hype Cave straight to the mountain was aggressive. Because for all he knew, it wasn't in logic still, and it may not be for a while. Unfortunately for him, the flute was right there, though. And yes, chat talking about the fastest way to climb the mountain. Yeah, the Turtle Rock portal climbing through Paradox Cave is faster than climbing through Super Bunny Cave if your dead rocks cooperate. If you get dead rocked, it is a wash at best and probably favors Super Bunny Cave a lot of the time. And silver arrows for Taelin. And a very nice hammer blind fight for cheamo. That fight is, especially on higher health, it's definitely doable. It's not quite free though. So good on him to have it done.
All right, I am back.
Welcome back. I think the big highlights of while you were away, cheamo killed blind with a hammer, no problem, and Taelin found the arrows in the lava chest.
Yeah, seeing silvers is nice when you're still on Master Sword. Because Master Sword silvers can get very tedious.
Yep, that fight is just, it's all about finding your rhythm and settling into it. But it does take a long time, because you've got to do 52 spins. cheamo doing Stumpy before Dig Game here. Gonna go back, probably do Dig Game, pick up the Smith, and then save and quit because he doesn't have the mirror to do the cave south of the Grove with. And of course, he's gonna get his first sword out of this Dig Game here just before the hour mark. Be about 56:25 when he picks it up.
Yeah, can't feel good.
No, it never does to get a super light sword like that. On Taelin's side here, I don't actually remember if we've seen Map Compass both in Turtle Rock here, but he's coming up on...
I'm counting 2 items left. So yeah, those Map and Compass are still outstanding.
Very likely to see the Trinex kill regardless of whether he's holding a Map, Compass, or item at this point though, just because you come all this way and it is a green pendant.
Yeah, and saving your portal isn't really it's really can't.
Yeah, and there's really just, there's no need to save a portal when you've got the ice rod already.
Well, there is an item on Trinex. Alright, gonna take the safety door just in case.
Yeah, always respect the safety door play, especially when you're on below Tempered Sword. And then Good presence of mind there from Taelin. Drop the Samaria block before you pick up the full refill. That way your refill also refills the Samaria usage.
Yeah, I mean, you have more. Yeah, because you want to make sure you have magic for this fight when you're on Master Sword. Alright, very good start with the Firehead.
And we see here, he is actually going to switch to the Hammer instead of the Master Sword for the Ice Head, which only used the Master Sword for the Firehead, which let the Ice Head get off at one shot. But I think that was still only 2 cycles, right?
Yeah, something like that. And I noticed Taelin had a red potion, so yeah, running out of magic wouldn't have been good.
Yeah, but that's also a very strong reason to take the safety door, because there is that full refill right before the fight.
Alright, what is Trinex have for us? Just 20 rupees.
Yep, but there is still that green pendant turn in. Honestly, I don't think we'll see on Taelin's side until after he goes to Misery Mire. I expect that to be the next play.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, he's got to finish the mountain first. He did Spiral Cave, but he hasn't done Hera yet. So that first, probably Spike Cave afterwards as well, and then Mire.
Gotta be careful with those Lionels. They do like making contact with one of his 4 hearts.
Yep. But good news, if Taelin goes and kills the Moldorm, he'll get a free refill before Spike Cave. If he chooses to skip it, there's still something like a 1 in 4 chance of there being a fairy somewhere in that circle of bushes.
Alright, cheamo now with that sword gonna go through Skull Woods.
Yep. Fighter Sword Moth is even more of an exercise in patience than Master Sword Moth is. You really cannot rush that fight unless you've got like a bunch of hearts and armor. Taelin opting for Super Speed Hairpot.
Trying to do it unbuffered. There we go.
Yep. Takes a few seconds there, but he's got it. Gonna grab the fairy here. Then he'll grab the second item and presumably be on his way. Although, honestly, Taelin's the one that has not read the Master Sword pedestal. He's got a pendant already from Turtle Rock. Could see him killing Moldorm as a hedge against the Flippers. But nope, he's out. So it's going to be Spike Cave for him and then off the mountain. And I'm probably a heretic for saying this, but cheamo using the Master Sword on Mothula, I would honestly really rather just use the Fighter Sword, but he did get it. He didn't have to burn his potion either. But it was kind of scary there for a sec. And Taelin getting that refill out of Spike Cave that is immediately nullified by the save and quit.
Yeah, in Taelin's view, the only thing Pet could have would be Flippers, although he hasn't checked it.
Yeah, Flippers are the only thing that could be there, but Flippers could be there for him. Looks like he's not going to pod, otherwise he would have approached this from the Dark World, but he is going to go push that Turtle Rock play a step further and turn in the Green Pendant.
Oh, just a piece of heart. So all Turok had of any value were the silvers.
And honestly, Taelin probably sunk more time into clearing Turtle. I say probably, definitely sunk more time into clearing Turtle Rock to get those silvers than they will save for him. Especially fighting Vitreous without the bow. Like, chat talking about cheamo's pod play being a bust. Turtle Rock, I think Taelin probably spent longer in there.
Yeah, Turtle Rock's just a long dungeon in general. Oh yeah, Bombos was there too. And that'll help us for Ice Palace.
I mean, it'll kinda help, but that's marginal at best, even though I was the one talking it up earlier. Taelin needing a couple cycles there to hit the disappearing Wizrobes. Almost got that last one with a slash, but it's just slightly out of range. And cheamo out of magic on the Landmola's fight, switching over to the hammer to kill the last one. And that's going to be crystal number 3 for cheamo. That actually ties up the crystal score.
Alright, 2 small keys so far from chests.
Yep. And there are 3 total in this dungeon, so not many more to find. Of course, the only thing to really keep in mind with key logic in this dungeon, the next chest that Taelin's going to open is the one to the north of the fire. Well, I was going to say that. He has no magic, so he can't do the fire section.
Yeah, the tile room's gonna be off to the side for now.
Yeah, but if the northern of the 2 fire lock chests in this dungeon has a small key, then that means that the chest to the south, the vanilla big key chest, will be vanilla, will have the big key. And Taelin is going to just grab this full refill, then go light those torches to get that chest to the north.
I'm just gonna use the lamp to conserve magic. Yeah, you can get 8 fire rod shots out of 1 magic meter. And yep, there it is. So big key on cutscene chest.
Yep. And I do like saving magic there. It does cost a couple extra seconds, but you can't get the full refill under that skull since you already got it. And you have to light 8 torches here. So if you mistime your shot while pushing these blocks and it doesn't properly go through it, then you'd suddenly find yourself out of magic again.
I don't know if cheamo has anything in his bottle.
Yeah, he should have a blue.
That's what oh yeah, from earlier. And Taelin's got a red potion.
Yep, Taelin is still sitting on the red that he got for free from the Waterfall Fairy. cheamo bought his blue.
Oh yeah, cheamo used the blue potion for the camera unlocking in pod.
I thought I saw one on his menu in somewhere fairly recently, but I could be mistaken.
Oh, there's our flippers. So we are now bow mode.
Yeah, honestly, I think that if you're either of these runners, flippers are really not the item you wanted to find first there. Just because the specter of left side swamp starts to loom. And nobody wants to do that, especially in a race. On the other hand, though, if it was the bow first, the only locations those open up are exactly the Armos Knights and the Helmasaur King. So, pretty unlikely that we would have seen the bow before the flippers here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's looking like, despite what we were looking at earlier with cheamo's pod play not at all working out for him, we've more or less got a race on our hands right here. It's The only difference is going to be cheamo is not going to have those silver arrows probably at any point. So I've got to expect he does the flipper dungeons before Turtle Rock. And that'll presumably put him in go mode since we've seen everything else at this point pretty much.
Yeah, other than maybe some random one-off overworld checks that we might not have seen. Like, I don't think we've seen Bombo's tablet or...
Yeah, like Bombo's tablet, purple chest, cave south of the grove, I think is pretty much it. cheamo trying to get a door state extension here so that he can dash through that rail. There he goes. Meanwhile, Taelin going for the strat I mentioned earlier. If you're spamming slash with the sword while you've got the cape on, the rate that the magic meter goes down is significantly reduced. You can see he's still got half a bar.
Yeah, this cape usually just drains magic like there's no tomorrow. Alright, gotta be careful because the eye will do 4 hearts of damage.
Yeah, but he's making good use of the hammer there, because hammer does double the damage of the Master Sword slashes. So you're able to kill him twice as fast if you can get all the hits in. And that's going to be crystal number 4 for Taelin.
cheamo is going to be fighting the fighter sword.
I have to imagine that this is going to look more like a hammer fight than a fighter sword fight for cheamo.
Alright, including to 8, this will be Ice Palace.
Yep. Absolutely makes sense to do this dungeon before Swamp with Icebreaker in hand. And I guess Taelin never did at least the Hobo earlier. I don't know. I don't think he did Zora either, actually, come to think. But regardless, with Ice Palace, with having Icebreaker in hand to really smooth out the routing in that dungeon and really minimize the difference between a go mode and a full clear. And then on top of that, it being the 5/6 crystal to give you a Pyramid Fairy check, I think Ice Palace before Swamp really makes a lot of sense, even though Swamp has twice as many items. And cheamo is going for damage boost fighter sword spins, which spins are mandatory with the fighter sword to damage Vitreous at all here.
cheamo does have a blue potion.
Yep. And that's why he is comfortable using the cape there. Gonna burn his entire magic meter and go back to spinning these eyes. Because the eyes do like 4 hearts of damage, like you said before, but the floor only does 1.
Alright, so now phase 1's done. Oh no!
Yeah, with that fighter sword in hand, cheamo's only options against the big eye, slash it. Well, not even slash it, spin slash it, specifically. Regular slashes don't work. So you've either got to spin it or hammer it, and both are pretty mediocre options.
And yeah, I can come back to it later.
Yeah, at this point, he got his progression item out of the dungeon. And I think he knows Vidi doesn't actually have an item, just getting the 5/6 crystal, so very reasonable play for him. See if you can't find a bow or another sword or two, and just come back later.
That's 2 items out of Ice Palace so far. No bow.
Yep. Taelin, regardless of whether it's the bow or not, I'm sure is hoping to see the last item right here so he can just go straight to the boss. Unfortunately, it is not to be.
And Talen's gonna go for iced tea. Gonna play it safe.
Yeah, really hard to leave a check in a dungeon behind. Especially one like just as annoying to get to as iced tea.
And yeah, third item was here.
Yeah, so unfortunately, bow not in Ice Palace either. So we're looking at Swamp, or we're looking at like the purple chest and the associated mirror checks.
And Pyramid Fairy will open up too.
Yeah, I got to imagine that we see Swamp before that, though, at least on Taelin's side, since he's already checked the Pyramid Ledge. Just because where they're physically located.
Oh yeah, we haven't seen K45 either.
Yep, that is the prime mirror check associated with the purple chest, but Mambo's tablet is also right there. And there is that use of Bombos itself to break Cold Stare's shell, and we still have a few Fire Rod shots left in reserve. His Fire Rod shots do Gold Sword tier damage to Cold Stare, which huge step up from Master Sword.
Sure. Everything in the Cold Stare fight hurts on green. We have 2 hearts from the falling chunks of ice and 4 hearts from the puffs themselves.
And that means Taelin really doesn't have room to take more than one hit from anything there, but that's going to be Cold Stare down. And that's going to be the 5th crystal for him.
Oh, cheamo does not have a full magic meter.
Nope, he's going to have to burn his potion because he didn't get that Bombos medallion out of Turtle Rock. Oh, but that's one of the best. That's probably the best Fire Rod Cold Stare kill I've ever seen. Like, you've seen the quick kills with like Tempered and Gold Sword where they get in the corner and they stay there. I have never seen that with the Fire Rod though. That was mad impressive.
For sure. Alright, Pyramid Fairy, it looks like first, and then Swamp. Oh, yeah, gotta get the bomb first.
Yeah, that's kind of important if your goal is to blow a hole in the pyramid. I am kind of surprised that we're seeing Pyramid Fairy before Swamp for Taelin, but if you want the reassurance of whether or not you gotta do left side, then may as well.
I mean, at this point, there's just so little left. If you don't find the bow just going through the back, you just immediately go into left side after that. You don't see it.
I mean, Taelin's still got Pod, is the big thing.
Oh, yeah. Although cheamo's already done that, but on the flip side, cheamo hasn't done Turtle Rock.
Right. Unfortunately for cheamo, Turtle Rock is a fair bit more lucrative with those silver arrows. But even that's still not progression.
Alright, nothing on Pyramid Fairy.
Yep, so cheamo gonna be the first one into Swamp here. Is disadvantaged on the sword front though.
Okay, an immediate big key. Yeah, cheamo is looking for another sword, which if he goes to Pyramid Fair, when he gets that Misery Mire medallion, or not medallion, crystal, thinking of the wrong game, might stumble across the Master Sword there, but, you know, depends on, you know, if he wants to go back without the bow and fighter's sword, which I don't know if he wants to do that.
Yeah, that's a difficult question, having already lost that fight once. I will say, though, if cheamo has any inclination towards left side swamp immediately, then getting the big key early is nice. Just because it means you can't get punished by a late big key, forcing you to go back in anyways.
Yeah. Well, there was our half magic replacement.
Yeah, I have a feeling he would have really liked that to have been actual half magic. And
right,
with that
straight up left side.
Yeah, compass in hand, that play makes a lot of sense. Just, you know, there's going to be at least one item here. And cheamo, in addition to the bow, does still need a sword. Pretty high odds we find one in Ganon's tower at this point, but still, difficult for him.
Yeah, and Chad's reminding us about K45 and Purple Chest still things that could have it.
Yep, we did see Taelin do the Bombos tablet before entering, which is part of why he's so far behind inside the dungeon itself. But he did not do either of those two things first. There's one item left side. Unfortunately, it's not very good.
And the other one, not good either. Well, it did give cheamo 12 hearts, for what it's worth.
Yeah, that's something. Now, I guess the question is, what does Taelin do with the left side? Does he immediately go for it? Does he skip it all together? Does he go back in?
Alright, 3 items left in the back.
Yeah, and all 3 of that are going to be very directly in the way, especially doing Diver down here to not unflood this room.
Trying to set it up without jumping into the water. Yeah, gets it.
Yeah, if you can get it without having to redo it several times, then it's definitely faster than having to jump in, especially if you need to buffer it when you do jump in.
And there it is.
Yep, made us wait all the way till the end of the dungeon for it, but really very few other spots it could be.
Yeah, it's good for both runners, because if it wasn't there, they would have likely gone on a wild goose chase looking for it.
Yeah, cheamo still had Turtle Rock on the table, Taelin still had Pot on the table. It wouldn't have been pretty for either one. But at this point, the big difference, cheamo still has to go back and kill Vitreous. He didn't do that the first time, unfortunately. Also, I think chat, I didn't notice all 3, but chat's saying that cheamo pulled 3+ on his first one, which is another thing that I've actually never seen anybody do in a boss fight. So, in spite of the circumstances, cheamo showing off some very impressive boss tech here. Unfortunately, his fire rod shots are more than a bit off the mark, so he needed 2 fighter sword spins there to down Argus, and that's going to be his 5th crystal. I assume he'll probably take the bow right to Eastern just to see what's on the Armos Knights before going back to Vitreous, but bow in hand makes Vitreous a much more comfortable fight regardless. Actually, thinking about it, there are a lot more arrow refills in Eastern Palace than there are in Misery Mire, and both of those fights take a lot of arrows.
Yeah.
So, just from a micro optimization sort of standpoint, Vitreous first may be the play here for cheamo. But time-wise, assuming arrow count doesn't matter much and that he's fine for both fights, he's good either way. And doing the Armos first does give him a slight chance at silver arrows for the biddy fight that we know he won't roll because they're in Turtle Rock instead.
And 1 silver arrow will take down Argus. Crystal number 6.
Yep. Taelin's just got to run over to Eastern, do the exact same thing cheamo's doing now, and then he'll be on his way up to Ganon's tower. Oh, right, and chat's reminding me there's something that I've completely forgotten about here. Cheamo can just flute to 8 before going to Misery Mire, drop a few rupees on an arrow upgrade plus refill. Probably bombs as well while he's there, just because why not?
Yeah, he's on 4. Unlike the typical hard item pool, I believe you are still able to buy bomb and arrow capacity upgrades in this.
Yeah, I don't know for sure that we can, but at the very least, I don't think it's outright disabled. I don't know for sure, though. No, cheamo actually very conscious of his arrow count, going to use the Cane of Burna to group the Armos Knights together and just kill them that way instead. This way he's only going to need maybe like 5 arrows.
That was really smart.
And he got the quick kill there. That was fantastic. Very intelligent play from cheamo here. Because, yeah, let's be honest. How many runners come up with that on the fly? Even knowing the situation that cheamo's in right now.
Yeah, you don't often think a Cane of Burn because, in this mode, you're always going to have a bow and getting there.
Yeah, and everybody's just got the traditional bow Armos quick kill just so ingrained in their muscle memory at this level. To deviate from that to knowingly save arrows, knowing you've got a Vitreous fight coming up, that's good thinking right there. And yeah, chat asking, cheamo essentially is in go mode minus the sword, which there's basically no reason for him not to just look for a sword on the way in GT. Especially, he'd already full cleared Eastern, he has already full cleared Mire besides the bosses. So if he were to go anywhere looking for a sword after GT, it would basically have to be Turtle Rock. Which, you're not going to go to Turtle Rock when you've got Crystal Dungeons you can full clear and go to GT for.
Yeah. Alright, that is crystal number 7, so go ahead and throw your numbers in chat where you think this GT big key is going to be.
Yep. There's 22 checks. One of them's a big key. 1 or 2 of them are probably swords. We don't have any way of tracking your numbers short of reading chat, which it's probably going to scroll up a bunch. But somebody's probably guessed the right number by now anyways, and congratulations to them. They guessed the right arbitrary number.
A preemptive congrats. I like it.
And I think chat was debating a bit earlier on the fastest way to climb Death Mountain, which Paradox Cave is faster than Super Bunny Cave, as long as what happened to Taelin there just doesn't happen. As long as you don't get hit and blocked by dead rocks, which even just that slight blockage there making him go around that bonk rock probably makes this at best a wash with Super Bunny Cave. Just because in that setup, you don't have to deal with any dead rocks. And cheamo's still going for those fighter sword spins on Vitreous here, trying to knock down at least a few of the small eyes that way before going over to the bow.
I guess it takes 3 arrows to kill each eye, I believe.
Yeah, which adds up to a lot of arrows.
Oh, 4, okay. Nada in Hope Room.
No keys whatsoever in Hope Room, which means there's really no option to go to the right side of the basement unless you want to sit through the tile room. And even that's not guaranteed to have a small key. So, to the left.
Okay, yeah, okay, it is 3. There's powder for attack number 4.
Powder is one of those always nice to haves just for the recovery in the end game because anti-fairies and bunny beams are pretty much everywhere.
Yeah. Alright, so we're through 7. This will be 8. Hey, Tempered Sword.
Yep. That's the GT sword that's going to put cheamo in full-on go mode. Because there's... I guess he could hypothetically miss it if the key is on the right side and he goes to the Stalfos room first. But with no keys in Hope Room, if he does a Hope first route, he's not missing that sword.
Alright, so I'll keep for check number 9.
Now, my favorite room in the tower right here is actually this one, just because of how useless it is in vanilla.
Right. And it was useless here.
Yeah. It did set Taelin up. The next piece of heart he pulls will be a refill. Now we do have cheamo entering Ganon's tower here. Gonna go Hope Room first, so he is not missing that sword in the double fire bar room.
Right, 14 is 50 rupees, so Ice Armor will be 15 through 17.
And
if Ice Armor, cheamo is down to 6 arrows.
6 arrows and no silvers. Does have a full magic bar if he wants to rely on the Cane of Burna again, and there are a couple of arrow pots in the tower.
Hey, not here. It's on the right side. Oh, I think Cheamo's gonna mirror. Gonna miss that sword.
Okay, so cheamo will get to the key almost in the same time as Taelin here, assuming it's not tile room. But yes, he will be missing that sword. Unless there's one in the compass room, he will be climbing Ganon's tower on Fighter's sword.
We have not seen the fourth sword.
Yeah, Taelin looks like he'll be to the compass room first by like a second, or about 5 seconds maybe. If we see a green 20 on his side, that's the fourth sword, which then cheamo will get very shortly after.
Alright, 18 is a blue rupee, 19 is 10 arrows. Oh. There it is, 21.
Yeah, and that does mean that unless cheamo continues searching the basement, he will not get that firebar sword.
See, To My Lee was the first to guess 21, and then the Great Gallus also guessed 21.
Congratulations to them. Also, it does look like cheamo is going to continue searching the basement. He did grab that small key under the pot. And luckily for him, the sword he's looking for is right here. But unfortunately for cheamo, he is still sword disadvantaged, and he doesn't have the arrows that Taelin has. So Taelin going to be significantly faster on the Ganon fight, in addition to being ahead on the climb here. Let's see if he can play clean through the climb and maintain that advantage.
Yeah, will Cheamo decide to check Pyramid Ledge after defeating Aga? We'll see.
That is an option, but with him being on Master Sword, I don't really expect it, because he can do the Master Sword Silverless Ganon fight. And just to recap for chat a little bit, anybody who may have shown up late and missed it, Taelin got his first sword this seed off of the Pyramid Ledge, which cheamo he never went over there, never checked it, didn't need to. But because of that, he didn't get his Master Sword till he was inside Ganon's tower here in that double firebar room. Meanwhile, cheamo did make an early Palace of Darkness play. That was actually the first thing he did after getting Dark World access. Turned out to be for, unfortunately, nothing. And Taelin, I don't want to say he countered, but he answered that with a Turtle Rock play that turned out to have nothing of value at all besides the silver arrows. So, both runners sunk time into pendants that just had no progression at all in them, but Taelin got something resembling a time save back out of the one he did, where cheamo unfortunately just didn't. I think silvers are probably worth, like, Master Sword Silverless versus Tempered Silvers is probably a good minute-and-a-half difference or so. Okay, I might be overstating that. It's been a while since I've checked on both fights. But regardless, silvers, they're a noticeable time save. They're just not worth doing Turtle Rock specifically for.
And getting the health and magic refills, and now Moldorm 2.
Yeah, whichever designer put together that pre-Moldorm room is a very nice person. I wish them well. And chat asking how Cheamo caught up. Cheamo did not full clear the Ganon's tower basement. He mirrored out of the Stalfos room, went to the right side, which is where the key happened to be. And then even though he kept looking for a sword after that, it was in his very next check. So he was able to skip the randomizer room, the Bob chest, the Ice Armos fight, and just all of the transitions involved in getting to those locations, which is a significant time save. On top of that, he's just playing rather well.
So that's where Quake was sitting.
No, that means we found everything that lights up on the tracker besides the shovel. Yeah, that's Aghanim 2 down for Taelin. Cheamo through Mulworm 2. So, not that big a gap between them right now. It's just, unfortunately for Cheamo, he's on the wrong side of both that gap and the Sword Silver's gap.
Yeah, between these two, they combined to nearly 100% this seed, although Cheamo didn't go to Turtle Rock and Taelin didn't go to Pod.
Yeah, but between the two, chat laid it out. There's the cave south of the Grove, there's the purple chest, there's the Ganon's Tower big chest, there's the Ganon's Tower tile room, and there's Helmasaur. And that's pretty much it. We have seen every other location. Good job there on Aga 2 getting that last cycle there for Cheamo. Taelin into phase 3. I don't think he's got any magic refill, but he does have a lamp. So not too concerned between that and the arrows.
That is a lot of warping.
Yep. Good news for Taelin there is Cheamo is going to see exactly the same warps. Those are seeded.
Oh, Cheamo is going to at least pick up Tempered.
Oh, very nice for him then. Because that's going to save time for him for sure. Even having to reclimb the pyramid.
He does get Torch Glitch.
Yeah, Torch Glitch not strictly a necessity with silvers, but if you've got an eye towards magic conservation, then it's still very nice, especially since it let him do the fire rod there for the last shot.
Get your GGs in chat for Taelin, finishing in first place with a time of 1 hour, 41 minutes, and 59 seconds.
Yep.
But unfortunately, it was 20 minutes lower than Days Cloud.
What a beast. But this is a reminder, Triforce texts are submitted by the community. There is a link in the tournament Discord if you would like to submit your own. And we do have Taelin with us. GG's, congratulations. However, please hold for a minute while Cheamo finishes his own Ganon fight, and then we'll see if he's willing to join and talk to you both together. Cheamo's got Fire Rod Torch Glitch, which means that he is just 12 spins away from downing Ganon here. And in good position to get a triple this cycle, so very good position to finish this off relatively quickly overall. I think he's on 9 here. Nope, he was on 11.
That was 12.
And that is going to be GG's to Cheamo as soon as he crosses the bridge here. And that puts him across with a time of 1 hour, 43 minutes, and 41 seconds. So for all this race looked like through a good chunk of the mid game, we finished under 2 minutes of difference. And while we wait to see if Cheamo will be joining us, Taelin, GG's, congratulations.
GG.
Hey, thanks for that. GG's.
So I guess from your perspective, Turtle Rock aside, this was played out pretty straightforward for you. And hey, we do have Cheamo with us. GG's and welcome.
GG.
Yeah. You two did pretty much combine to full clear the seed. So from where we're sitting, we saw pretty much everything except the fourth sword.
But yeah, I felt like Desert was really hard bait in the beginning. And so when I went in, it didn't feel like I had a way to effectively kill Landmo and dipped out. And then went and got the hammer. I'm like, I have to go back and finish that. It's clearly where the Moon Pearl is. And then it wasn't. And I felt really bad.
Yeah, and then you decided... once you got the Merle, to immediately commit to pod.
Cheamo was the one that went to pod.
Well, Cheamo.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Nah, it's been a seed. We've seen, like I said, you and I here in the booth, we saw everything this seed.
Yeah, we have like a 210 collection rate.
But it did wind up being, I think, really entertaining for us from the both of you with the divergences. So I do want to thank you guys for putting on a good one for us here.
Well, that was our plan. We were talking about it ahead of time. Of just do everything different, give it a real good show. Let's make it tight at the end. And I feel like we did that.
Did a very good job of that, yeah.
Yeah, going back to that bait, though, that TR, when I was on the mountain, I was like, oh, good, it's Ether. I don't have that. Hopefully when I find it, I won't be up here. And then I found it with Samaria, and I'm like, I have to. And then I shouldn't have.
Yeah, I basically made that desert play a little bit early, and I meant to get a potion on the way, and then I didn't, and then I was kind of stubborn and spent way too long in there trying to get enough magic to kill Lenmo, which probably would never be worth it. And then that item was like, oh man, I'm sure that's Pearl, but I don't know, I can't go back there. And then, I don't know, I was just kind of feeling bad. You kind of dig yourself a hole, so find Pearl in Eastern. Why not dip Pendant Pod, because it's right there. So full clear that for basically nothing except the mushroom. Waste a couple minutes on that, checking it, and then doing fake powder, which I usually don't bother with. Yeah, so it was like real bad, and then the Vidi death was just like the kind of nail in the coffin. I was like, had that fight, I don't know, it had to be like 1 or 2 more hammer hits, and I just menued at a bad time and came out of in iframes. So yeah, I don't know, it was kind of a bad race for me. But
yeah, it is unfortunate. Fighter Sword Vidi always just incredible potential to go wrong, even for great players. I do really want to give you credit though, because you did show off some really impressive things even after that Vidi death. Your cold stare kill, keeping him in the corner with just the fire rod, and then just your brilliant play to kill Armos with the Cane of Burna to save arrows for Vitreous afterwards. I was super impressed by both of those.
That felt like a 4D play, and then the Wizrobes were in the arrow pack, so there was like 30 arrows in Mire 2. When I went back in, didn't matter.
It was,
but
it may not have, but I was still super impressed with it.
That's always a fun fight, anyways. With Blue Cane, I wish it was faster than arrows, but it's not. Yeah, I don't know. It was fun. Swords were the problem for me the whole seed. Like, I was swordless for like so long, like 45 minutes or something. And that just is so slow, because every screen you're like bumping into things and taking damage when you don't.
Yeah, you were swordless until like the 57-minute mark. It was very unfortunate.
And I was like, oh, here's bow. I really wanted to find a sword first, not the bow. But yeah, I guess the sword on the pyramid ledge kind of bailed me out, but it was a little too late.
Yeah, but in spite of the mishaps and the unfortunate circumstances, the fact that you made this as close as you did is, I think, a testament to the fact that you generally really did play quite well.
Yeah, there's like, I don't know, 6-8 minutes of time lost due to dumb stuff, but otherwise it was alright. Left side swamp, like, the only reason I did it was because the big key was the first chest. Usually if I don't see the big key, I just go to the back, and I know it's only like technically bow sword from go mode, so you probably shouldn't, but it was like, if there's a sword over there, I'll kick myself later. I don't know. Probably should have skipped it.
Yeah. And then flipping back around to Taelin a bit, I think I was kind of alluding to it when we got cheamo in here, but for you, aside from Turtle Rock, I think you pretty much just went to where the items were for the most part. It felt like your collection rate is still high, but that's because you full cleared GT basement. Turtle Rock really feels like it's the only out-of-the-way thing that you really did and didn't need to.
Right, when we got to Dark World and you were talking about going to Pod, I was just like, okay, Pod, if it's bow locked, bow can't be there, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to make the choice, and so I did Pyramid Catfish, because that was my bad choice. It got the sword, I'm like, okay, that's good, that's Skull Woods. So then I just went up through Vu backward, or from the bottom, because Mothi was terrible, and I was like, if I even find one more heart or another sword, then this is going to be worth it. So then when Dig Game had my Master Sword, I'm like, alright, I feel a lot better about life. So then I felt pretty comfortable for the most part. Yeah, that TR play was just like, I feel like this is the gamble I have to make. It's all right in front of me. You know, bow flippers could be here, and it was just empty. But yeah, overall, I felt pretty good.
Yeah, TR looked good for a long time. Like, you had everything to clear it. I don't know, everything I had was like spread out. But then suddenly I could clear like 3 dungeons and just forgot about it. But
yeah, that was me. I'd already finished Desert, Skull Woods, and Themestown, and was on the mountain because of density. And then only thing I could have cleared past that would have been going to Meyer, which obviously was the right call for flippers then on the way to bow. But I did left side swamp as well with the same mentality. Hey, big key's right here. There's got to be something on the left side, right? No. Well, there is not.
Yeah. If only I had also gone out of pod towards the pyramid afterwards, because I think that would have saved me a lot of time finding that other sword.
So did you
Ironically, sorry, go on.
No, you're fine. I was just going to ask if you did game after Themestown or before.
Yeah.
After.
Ugh, oh yeah.
I didn't have a sword for so long. It was a real pain.
The hammer blind was, at least it looked to me, rather solid.
That can be a lot cleaner. I probably took like 8 hearts of damage or something.
Yeah, but I don't think I've ever seen that fight in a truly clean manner. It's always some degree of messy. Getting through it at all without needing to burn resources or a death is good in my book.
This seed was a little too close to swordless to me, which I would never choose to play, so...
Yeah. I will say, though, if you had gotten that pyramid sword early, you may well have missed a tempered sword in the firebar room in GT.
That is definitely a possibility. But I think it still would have been ahead. I'd have picked up this. I'd have Master Sword. I would have skipped a lot more.
Yeah, that's also probably true. It's just, we can what if it all day. It's just, who knows. But yeah, I do want to just say one more time, GG both of you. Congratulations, Taelin. I think that puts you, what, 2-1 in the group?
Yep.
Yeah. Hey. Good luck, both of you, with your future matches. I know, cheamo, you still got several to play.
Yeah, I gotta schedule like as many as possible this week. I'm definitely behind.
Well, good luck to both of you.
Thank you very much, GG cheamo again. Thanks for the restream, and thanks for the comms. Really appreciate it.
And thank you guys for both putting on good race here. We wouldn't have any race to put on without you guys, so big shout outs to you. And as we start moving toward wrapping up here, I do want to say on the schedule here, we do have a Zero Rush versus Ninban that started about 10 minutes ago over on SpeedGaming 4. That sounds like something very much worth checking out as soon as we're done here. But that is that one, the Zero Rush Shinban, is going to be the last race for tonight on the schedule. We do have several for tomorrow, starting with a Plasma Kappa versus Magnet Hands on SG2 at 10:10 a.m., and then several more after that. So as long as we're in this group stage, there's still going to be plenty of rando to go around. And I also I want to give big shout outs to our tracker tonight, D2 Kemps, keeping buttons lit up, letting me just stare at that while I talked about the race, making the job real easy. Thanks, man.
Just real quick before we sign off, I want to shout out Mookow for the awesome MSU. Great job.
Yeah, the MSUs were fun to listen to as well. We had Celeste and Mega Man X, I believe they were. So very pleasant.
Yeah, both really nice.
I will leave the last word to you, VXR.
All right, yeah. Thank you all so much for watching. GG again to our runners. Thanks to everyone involved. Thank you for watching. And until next time, have a good night.
Yep, see ya.